And hello and welcome back to Let's Play Tales of Symphonia episode 57. Thank you. We're still haven't been detected. We're still in Darius Carline and we haven't been detected yet. That's gonna change here pretty quickly. This is not the last time we come back here, by the way. Even though you suspect it would be a one and done type deal, but if they did that, then that Devil's Arm that we got earlier would not be obtainable, and that's not a good way to do the side quest. So I guess it makes a bit more sense now that I think about it.
Yeah, it's well, actually reminds me of I can't remember where I saw it from now, but it's basically one of those many channels that go into different I don't know, they analyze stuff in games, and one of those used to be in a bunch of other games. They would have stuff like that were like goodies and like secret stuff. It would actually be secret. You'd actually have to genuinely look for it.
Right.
But nowadays it's expected that there's going to be a chest of stuff under the stairs, or there's going to be a chest of stuff like that before a boss fight, or they make it so that if you missed it, you can still come back to it and get it. So there's no real urgency for it.
It is true. They do kind
Whereas opposed to like, I guess like a game like Thief, if you seriously go off the path and look at stuff, you can find like absolutely like there's stuff that I still don't know where some hidden stuff is because it's in secret areas that I'd never
think about.
Thought to check.
I could definitely see that. Yep, we already got found out. I mean, you're the ones that kind of assumed we were working for Kratos. It's not really our fault this time.
Yeah, it was more Kratos pretended to work with them than the other way around.
No, I don't know if that... I would assume that is the case, but, you know. I think you're probably right now to think about it. Oh, right, this part. I think we got a little bit more glitch here, unfortunately, for the recording, but we should, this should be the last part that did that. If I remember correctly. Unfortunately, this, as I've said before, this was right around the time my old computer was dying, so... there were some problems. There have some new enemies, though. Sorry, I have been up since 6 because my body has gotten used to waking up with John now. So, I should have taken a nap today, but I've been doing... oh, man. I've been doing that stupid TF2 update for most of the day today.
Yeah, I might go back to it to see how it's doing. There's way too many pyros. And the problem is that
the pyros do seem to be going down finally, a little bit.
Yeah, it's just annoying when you've got more than half of your team is pyros. So
and that's what I was going to say. It's the last few games I've been playing. It's been 4 pyros instead of 8.
Yeah.
So as a pyro main, it really pisses me off because obviously everybody thinks I'm just doing it because, you know, new pyro weapons. But no, I actually really like pyro. But for the most part, it's been pretty good. There's been some bugs. It does take longer now to get into matches than it did previously. The party up system works pretty nice. I think that's about it. The new weapons are pretty nice. I really like the jetpack. Combined with the back burner, the jetpack is really mean.
Yeah, I have to do double takes now, because typically when I see someone like 3 stories up in the air, I assume it's a soldier, but now it's a pyro.
Yeah! Oh, look at that! Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, pyros did used to do it too, like with the detonator. It just wasn't as common, was the thing.
Yeah. Because
it's a lot easier now, and you can definitely get more height than you previously could. So, both of those happen to be a big contributing factor. Sorry, Kay just sent me pictures, and I'm going to check one quick thing. That is adorable. In-laws bought John a winter hat, and it's really cute.
Is it like a novelty one?
Hold on, give me 1 second. I don't think Katie was gonna mind me posting this to chat real quickly. Sorry guys, we're just waiting at this moment for this to finish. So, I guess I can talk about how much I don't like Spider-Man Homecoming. That's the thing I forgot about until now.
At least 20 minutes in, so you said.
Yeah, 20 minutes in, I don't like Spider-Man Homecoming. There's a few problems with it. I don't really like most of the new characters. They've gone ahead and changed the ethnicities on one character for no reason. I'm not really sure why. And then obviously there's young Aunt May. And it's not that she's a bad actress, it's all the jokes that are written about her. Oh, since she's 40 now, she's like a MILF, unfortunately. So it's like, this is what Spider-Man needed. MILF jokes. Great. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I kind of miss the, I can't remember the name of the actress, but the kind old woman, the wise Aunt May.
Yeah, I do too, and I'm assuming I'm not...
She's a kindly old woman that I guess you could see like a piece of a grandparent or an elderly relative in. She's just so warm to be around, but...
To be fair, as we said, it's only been 20 minutes, so maybe it'll get better.
Yeah.
I'm not holding out hope because of how they've made the Vulture now.
Yeah, you told me yesterday you didn't like the Vulture's design.
I don't like his design, and they've made him to be a petty criminal now.
What, does he steal purses?
They had his gang go and steal from an ATM.
That's it?
So far, yeah. Basically,
well, how did they steal from it? Did they take the entire ATM?
Basically the movie takes place right after the first Avengers. Well, not right. It takes place right after Civil War or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
But basically, obviously, after the first Avengers, they had to get all the alien technology out of there.
Yeah.
They basically been stealing alien technology, and that's what the Vulture's MO is now.
And he's using that to steal from the ATMs?
Yeah, basically, it's a superpowered drill that cuts through it instantaneously.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I guess that's useful, but at the same time, you could be looking at bigger and better things. Like
it could also be the Green Goblin doing that instead of the Vulture.
I don't know, because I haven't not much of a comic person, so maybe it fits into the comics.
It doesn't really, at least not yet. I'll see if it does. Like, the Vulture stole stuff, don't get me wrong. And he was definitely...
He's a criminal, you figure, if you have something that can cut through anything, I would probably be going for... Yeah. Like, well, I guess they could be too ambitious in the modern day, but like...
Bye, Zellos! By the way, we're in 0 G at the moment.
Didn't it say that, only they're floating for a specific reason?
It might be. It doesn't really get brought up again after this, so. We do have to go back there, by the way. I remembered that puzzle not being very fun, and I had a lot of problems with this puzzle, so. We have a couple more minutes to talk, just as a heads up.
Yeah.
Since, there's no control, it controls like ice physics again. I'm sure I remember how ice physics worked well for me last time, right?
Oh yeah, with how I think someone told me they're terrible in every game because it's so you need some exact movements in some things, and the ice just makes it unpredictable. There's
been 2 games I haven't minded the ice physics in, and that might be just more so that they made the puzzles more simple. The Golden Sun series, and what's the other one? I just had it in my mind, and now I'm forgetting that. Dang it! What is it? Well, we'll get her illness cured ASAP. Oh, what was the other one? Golden Sun, Pokemon Crystal. I don't think they really use ice physics too often in Pokemon, or if they do, they use it differently. Like in Ruby and Sapphire, it wasn't, oh hey, you're going to bounce around the wall now, have fun. It was, yeah, you can only step on this tile once. If you step on it a second time, it breaks.
That's annoying.
No,
I guess it's an alright puzzle if you can reset, but
you can, and you could reset because you had to get past it. So it was not the worst thing. There might have been some small ice puzzles now that I'm thinking about it for Ruby and Sapphire, but they were not. I obviously don't have bad memories about them, so they're not too terribly awful. So I was thinking about it, and I think that where you get the shell bell, there was some ice puzzles as well, actually, but I don't remember fully.
What about, I think about maybe about an hour and a half ago, I saw. It was really good. It was, again, another one of those short analysis things. It was about Battleborn and how Battleborn didn't die. It was
They killed it.
murdered.
I saw that one too.
Yeah. I was interested. It was like Battleborn. I'm like, oh, is he gonna defend it? Or I was like, no, they just made a bunch of decisions. It's their own fault that the game is dead. It's not Overwatch. It's not reviews. They killed it.
They sent it out to die, unfortunately. Like if they, I really do feel if they'd gone a month earlier or waited 2 months, it might have.
That February window would have
been okay.
They would have released it. There probably would have been complaints or something, and they probably could have fixed that.
But there was enough time before Overwatch.
Yeah, but the problem is when you release it when Overwatch is already out, you're gonna have too few people on it, and there's not gonna be a point in investing resources in a game nobody's playing, which is why they're doing their final update and then like cutting it loose.
Which don't tell aught, but I don't really like Overwatch that much. I find it to be pretty bland, honestly. But I play it with him because
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're not alone. It's fairly overrated.
Yeah. Plus all the social SJW that they shove into it upsets me. By the way, that red thing right there, we actually have to touch that, and I don't think I realized that, so we have to come back here. Yeah. So that's fun. But yeah, they obviously Tracer and then other things.
They made what's I think is it Symmetra? I can't remember. And they made one of them a high functioning autistics, and everyone was like, okay.
Yeah.
Like they're like, well, what does it add? Not that it's a bad thing, but it's like, why? Like
if it adds to the I mean, I guess it fleshes the world out in that case.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would make sense, but it's just, I guess it's still like out of left field.
Right. By the way, if you see me, say, going up to the floor and then I stay on the exact same floor, it means I did nothing. I couldn't figure the puzzle out at that time. So instead of showing me going through that puzzle over and over again, I just cut it out. Kind of like what just happened.
Reload and do it again?
Yeah. No, I'm not reloading. I basically, because I think it's about to have us go up a floor. Let's see.
Oh, you just cut. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, that way, it's like, I didn't do anything, so it's like, instead of wasting your guys' time, I'll try to help out.
I can't remember if... I think that's what I did, because I had the Shadow of the Colossus recordings. Because a lot of Shadow of the Colossus is...
You'll spend
well, not necessarily that, because I think I played it for such a long time, I know how to fight them, and normally... There's only one Colossus, I think, where if you fail, then it's have fun, try it all over again, and that's the stupid 14th one, and you have to time a jump right, otherwise it knocks you down, and because Wander's such a stick, it takes forever for him to stand back up, and it gives the thing just enough time to keep hitting you every time you stand up, so you can, you'll stay dead basically, but most of the game is riding to the Colossus, so it'll take like
a while.
Yeah, if you don't know where you're going to, because if it's your first time playing, you'll get lost quick. There's a way, like, use the sword to find your way there, but it'll take you to a lot of dead ends sometimes. But even for me, who's played it for like a long time, I think it takes me at least 5-10 minutes to get to a Colossus.
Right.
And later on, like, it takes longer and longer. Like, earlier ones, I know exactly where they're at and where to go. But...
That's why I do like that for MMOs, at least for Guild Wars. I don't know about any others. You can, teleport. Like for Guild Wars 2 in particular, I will admit this was nice. While I do happen to rail on Guild Wars 2 for a lot of things since it's not Guild Wars 1, basically there was these things called waypoints, and in each map there was about 12 of them, and you could unlock each one of them, and you could teleport to any of the waypoints that you had unlocked for the most part.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were contested, and that's pretty much the only time that you couldn't. So.
Well, I guess for I'm not necessarily decrying it, or the term would be for Shadow of the Colossus. I think it's a good thing because again, there's probably other videos that analyze it, and I've been meaning to analyze it myself. But the ride essentially is like a palate cleanser where it just gives you time to think and reflect on what's going on, where everything is, what are you doing, who's this, who's that, where am I going, what's going to happen next. And it's because the environment is so calm and quiet, and it's like I don't know, a long expanding desert,
Right.
or a shoreside, or
So one might say that it's a lonesome road.
I was trying to think of a counterpun because I think there is.
We've
Can't
been.
think of
Go ahead. Sorry.
I can't think of it. There was. I was gonna reference something because I thought I had a good pun for that, but no, I don't.
It's fine. We've been talking about Fallout New Vegas a lot, by the way. So that's just.
Have you gotten to Lonesome Room yet?
Yeah, but I'm about to back out because I realized I was doing them out of order. So I'm really glad that Lonesome Road is the one that you can leave or go into and be like, wait a second.
You see, that doesn't make sense. I would have figured that one would have been like, no turning back. You're in the finale. Like, you gotta push through. But no, it's. I think Honest Hearts and Old World Blues are the only ones that are. And actually, all of them. Why all of them except for the finale are. See, it doesn't make sense.
Well, you can definitely see the game skipping here a bit. It's not as bad as it was in the previous video, but
Yeah, at least it's with.
yeah,
It's
I'm pretty sure this is the last time this happens. But no, I don't know why they did that for only Lonesome Road as well. That is a little weird, I guess. Mainly because
you figured Lonesome Road is supposed to be like
right.
this epic finale showdown. Like it puts you in one place and it says, "Get ready for the fight of your life." And it's like, no, just back out if you need to.
I would probably guess because most of the hardest enemies in the game are there.
It's such a wuss thing. Like you got to deal with it. It told you what level you needed to be.
Yeah,
it gives you plenty of weapons and ammunition all over the place.
To be fair, I'd be fine with it. I just want to do it in order. That's the only reason why I'm going back.
Yeah, that's what I ended up doing because I think I did Old World Blues first.
I did Old World Blues first.
But I wanted to do them in order because, I mean, there's no you have to do it in this order, but the story unfolds better in a specific order.
I felt that Old World Blues first. I think technically it's supposed to be the second or third. I felt it was.
Yeah.
I felt it was really good as the first one, though.
Yeah, it was really good because I guess
it set the plot for the upcoming DLCs.
I think I'm doing Honest Hearts, like on my second run through. I'm doing Honest Hearts first because it has no relation to any of the others. It's just a nice side story.
Old World Blues does. I mean,
Old World Blues, Dead Money, and well, those two are connected.
I think I'm getting that backwards. Sorry, I was thinking Ulysses instead of Burning Man. So.
Oh, Ulysses is
different. Yeah. I was gonna say I should
Burning Man's cool. That's Joshua Graham and the.
Yeah, but he's a Mormon. No offense to
He's
Mormons.
not too bad though. So I think it's like a reformed kind of deal.
Yeah, but
it doesn't get into any of the weird stuff. I still think he's one of my more favorite because I don't know if it's this. I think they're different than the modern Mormon Church. They're essentially they talk way more about. Where he quotes more scripture instead of the works of
Mormonism.
Whatever his name is. Well, yeah, I forget the name of their author.
Right, Joseph Graham.
I forget who. No, who founded Mormonism again?
I know who you're talking about, but I can't think of his name.
Him and Brigham Young and a couple others, but no, he actually quotes scripture, and he's probably the closest to a Christian I think you'll find in there. Same with the followers of the Apocalypse.
I was gonna say, aside from wanting to kill all the Indians, but
so that was the big thing. That was you could either talk him into that or out of that, and I think because he would often quote that passage from the Old Testament when they're in captivity in Babylon, and they talk about how much they hate them and they can't wait to kill all the Babylonians, even their children, and throw them against the rocks and stuff like that because they hated the captivity. And that's where he's standing with I think it was the White Legs, whatever clan it was that was trying to basically kill them all off. He couldn't wait to kill all them off in an act of
revenge.
Like holy vengeance in a way, like as if he was bringing God's vengeance to them.
Right.
But it comes to when you get the decision to either lead them out peacefully or fight them off. I chose to fight them off because I figured, you want to stop them. You can't run away from them forever.
Right.
But when you do fight them off and you capture their leader and you basically get the decision, okay, should we kill him or not? And then you got to pass a bunch of speech checks to basically convince him, hey, look, don't kill him because you're no better than he is. Like, let him go. His tribe's already dead.
Right.
There's no need to kill him.
I should be good on the speech checks, by the way.
You see, those end up being ridiculously easy. Like in my second playthrough, I did all this stuff. I didn't go to the strip till I was like level 30. So I'm set to go for speech stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm set for speech. I have 100 speech at this point, so.
But I think that's because they didn't completely make the game they wanted to. In fact, there's a mod that's basically
Half health, other stuff, yeah.
Yeah, there's some other stuff. It was from the guy who I think directed it, or he worked on it, and it was what he wanted in the game, and it reduces XP gain, health, like all that stuff to make it a much harder experience. Because as much as it's harder in this one, like you gotta crunch numbers if you want to become 100 at everything and become unstoppable. It was much easier to do that in 3. It's a little harder in Vegas, but I wish it was a lot harder because it's hard to really play that class and like seriously say, oh, I can't do that because my skill in that can't go up to that certain amount. But eventually, if you grind enough, I can have 0 intelligence and yet have enough speech to talk someone to do.
That is true. I think my intelligence is 2, so you're not wrong.
And charisma's useless. Most people will set it to like 1 or 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I mean, you can get it to get the extra buffs to some of those things, but most people, when they go for like a maxing out attributes thing, they'll set charisma really low because you can just raise your speech stat with regular points. Because if you have max intelligence, you get more skill points every time you level up.
Is there no charisma checks?
There's a couple, but they're not like... They're more like interesting things or interesting dialogue. You see, the thing is, why have a charisma check when you can have a speech check? Like, it would make sense to have something hidden behind a charisma 6 check or a level 75.
I guess that makes enough sense because it's like for their intelligence checks, it's typically for history, and there's not a history, attribute or anything. So I guess it makes enough sense.
I think with those kind of skill checks, they're more displaying that your character is more gifted in a certain way. So if you have a high charisma check, you'll do a charisma check that shows that, hey, you're a smooth talker. Or if you have a high intelligence, you get an extra dialogue option that shows, hey, I'm a smart person, as opposed to like, you need a certain percentage of science.
Speaking of, by the way, that was a darn dirty trick with Dean Domino for them to do that. You know what I'm talking about, right? In order to not have him killed in
oh yeah, you have to not use a speech check.
Right? Which is bullshit, because it's like, no, you're so...
And it was like, that's it? I can't let him go, I can't save him? Like,
Yep. Because it's like, I didn't know that, so it's like, you have to butter his balls the entire time, and it's like, you want me to cough too? It's like, come on here, this is not...
most people who start that are going to have a high speech check or check of something.
Right.
And as soon as anybody sees a speech check, they go for it.
Yeah. Dead Money has honestly been my least favorite of the DLCs.
I love that atmosphere. I love it. It's probably one of my most favorite, just because the atmosphere.
The atmosphere is great, but it doesn't fit the engine, unfortunately.
I mean, I blame the engine more than the DLC, though. Well, yeah. The engine, exactly.
Which I can understand, but the thing is, they should have known what they were... Like, they did know what they were working with, so they should have worked within the boundaries.
Well, how does that not fit the engine?
Sneaking isn't exactly what I would call great in the Fallout series. Like,
yeah, people all complain about the sneaking in that one, because it's bugged. I think they have 10 perception, so sneaking never works on them. The enemies there, at least.
I don't care about that, but everybody complains about the ghost people, but punching them works real well. So, like, basically the bear trap fist has a double chance to, rip a limb off. So it's like one punch. Okay, done. Moving on.
If you've got bloody mess, then you should be good as well.
Yeah, but I didn't do that because my character was going for a less bloody or violent character. Oh, we have an actual cutscene going on at the moment, by the way.
Yeah.
It matters not.
Basically, you have to be an elf or a half elf. That too.
Either way, it is impossible
that part too.
To wield that sword. And without the power of the eternal sword, you cannot reunite the worlds.
Man, when Ott said he's gonna be here for next time because there's some plot going down. There's a part of plot that I'm not sure Ott knows about, actually. That's going to happen next time. I'm excited to see his reaction for that.
The worlds still exist only because they were separated.
Futile.
Futile.
No.
Why does everybody keep saying futile? It's futile.
It sounds like they're saying feudal as in F-E-U-D.
Right. Or fetal position.
Think for a moment. Why is there a shortage of mana? Well,
I don't think I've ever heard anyone say futile. I swear it's always futile.
Me?
Well, they already had a character that was named Rodile. That was pretty close to futile. So they couldn't. Apparently, that's where their budget went for the name.
and
That was a bad joke.
technology led to a great war. War
What's
consumes an
genus? What is
abhorrent
it?
amount of
Tell us.
mana.
Don't change the subject. There's a mana shortage because you won't let the great.
I can't remember genus. I don't. Oh, that is right.
Good
okay.
answer. Here's a pack of Smarties.
Giant tree ought to be revived. Another
For anyone who, I guess if you live outside the United States, I'm aware that Smarties are like chocolate M&M things, but here they're like rock. I don't know how to describe it. It's like chalkish.
Chalk candy.
Yeah. And my third grade teacher would give them out to everybody for if we got an answer right or if we were good.
Yeah.
It was the best thing in the world because you got to eat something before lunch and it was candy.
Yeah. I mean,
Smarties.
hold on a second. Was R caused by two opposing forces? And he split the world in two? So does that mean every time there's an opposing force, he's just going to keep splitting the world? So then it would be 2, 4, 8, 16.
Yeah, the more you split it up, the more wars there's going to be.
Yeah, because it's like, there's always going to be something.
Because these two, in a way, these two worlds are fighting each other for the mana. So
Yeah.
if you split it up into
That's
4,
true.
then there's only going to be more conflicts.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yes,
I mean, that's kind of what they did.
Ooh,
too.
yeah, I was going to say, that's what Josh was saying. Like, there is some bad points to this game, obviously, but
Lloyd is looking for a way to
Yeah,
It's
as you-
all-
yeah.
it's- I'm relating with him now.
yeah. Except for the fact that he's crazy.
it is the same thing. I am trying to create a world without.
I said it's not true, so it's
That's
not!
the way to save the world.
Cite your source.
A
Cite your
world
source.
without discrimination.
Pretty much. To be fair, Lloyd is trying to save both of them, but...
Fear and
He,
hate.
I mean, maybe if you'd been like, hey, Yggdrasil, instead of us sacrificing Colette, why don't we work together to save everybody? Hey.
X-spheres to eliminate the different bloods that flow through elves and humans.
That's what.
Everyone on this earth will become the same lifeless beings.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's also
That
what
is
makes
the
us
kind
better
which I
people.
strive for.
Because of the fact that we're different, we can rely on one another and grow from each other.
Yes, Desions and Crucius both exist for this purpose.
Oh boy, it's going
Conflicts between the
it's going the
races
Shin
formed
Megami
from
Tensei law
discrimination will
route.
disappear, Genus.
Kinda, yeah.
Because that's what law is in that it's because they have the idea that there is no one. You have law, chaos, and neutral as paths in that series, and none of them are really treated as evil. Because chaos is good. Hey, everyone's different. You can do what you do, but it ends up with a social Darwinist. You know, the strong do what they will. The strong do what they do, and the weak do what they must.
Right.
And neutral is just kind of
With revolution,
and law
Yeah,
is
just do what you want.
law is you have paradise, but there's no creativity,
Right.
no innovation. Nothing is different. Everyone's the same. You all follow one will,
First,
but it's all
you'll
good.
hand
And I
over
agree with
Crucius.
that, but apparently some people don't.
I won't let
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
Choice.
I'll show you the meaning of true power.
Yggdrasil to push over from now on when we fight him, by the way. Aside from the first time, he's not a threat if you happen to level enough, and since we've already started doing a few endgame things,
Yeah.
he's... Like, you can't actually kill him at this point, but I don't think he
Did
does...
you just say Holy Lance?
Yeah, he did.
Go! Prism Star!
Let's see, he did... to be fair, his attacks do a fair amount of damage, 2,000, but...
His costume looks like
By the way,
looks like he's in a '70s prog rock band.
it kind of does. By the way, Prism Stars, I don't know if I've said this before, happens to be pretty much the most powerful... Oh wow, it didn't do it that time. What? That's weird. Basically, Prism Stars is supposed to hit a bunch. It did not hit a bunch that time. I wonder why. What's weird? But basically, typically whenever you use it, it does 50 hits. So, it's a fair amount.
That's all.
as I said, it's not that he's a pushover. He does still obviously hurt. It's just,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, but we'll see how that fight went next time because unfortunately there's like another 5 minutes of cutscenes. So
Oh yeah, there we go over a limit.
yeah, I was gonna say we do go over limits sometimes, but we like to try to keep it to 30 minutes, guys, just so it's a little bit
You don't get like a 5-hour long play.
yeah, pretty much. But that'll do it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and Pax Up on them. Yeah.